that is limited in space and time dimension. That is targeting the Haqqani network, which is located in the North Waziristan mainly. Second is the time is not given that when to take action. So that is a loose end. And third, that Pakistan has been asked to take the action. That unilateralism will be coming the second stage. And fourth is that if we don't, and we have done enough on the war on terror, and that those sacrifices are not being accepted or they are not being acknowledged, and they are asking more and more. So where is the end? Exactly. Once the end game is coming. So probably this is just to gauge the Pakistan response in the future development taking in Afghanistan, especially the military, the ISI, and the political dispensation. Because they are also, I may say that every Dick, Tom and Harry from the State Department, from the CIA, as well as from the Pentagon, they have spoken, as well as the think tanks. Right. So our is the reaction. We have not preempted it. And now what response will be coming? Probably this extraordinary meeting or emergency meeting of the Corps commanders, and then the what is coming from Afghanistan in the form of a strategical strike, which is one option. Second is the intensification of the drone attacks. Number three, if it is limited only to the Haqqani network, but if they extend the area to the Banu or DI Khan or coming down to the Tank, then that have got a different dimension. And moreover, if they extend the target, as they have said, LET, on which the Indian Foreign Minister has also jumped the bandwagon, that the Americans have now recognized that the Pakistan ISI is sponsoring the terrorism. And if then they go again the imaginary Quetta Shura, so probably then it will become an all-out confrontation. And in the all-out confrontation, then we have to take the nation, the political dispensation, as well as the people. And I must say one thing, that in this very limited time, the response which the Pakistani nation, as well as the political parties and the military has taken, I suppose that is a good message gone across. And I assess that America will reconsider its threat or that jingoism, as well as this bickering on the Haqqani network, and they will address it at their home front. Probably they must be having some compulsion regarding the economic aid.
Because it's time for me to take a short break. When we return, obviously the most crucial question here. Sirajuddin Haqqani is at an undisclosed location from where he gave an interview to Reuters, in which he said if American ground forces land in North Waziristan, the Haqqani network will swing into action there. I can't think of anything more scary than that. That's what we'll talk about, but after a short break, please stay with us. Welcome back to Witness. Before the break, I said that one of the most dangerous things that I read in the newspaper was a statement by Sirajuddin Haqqani from an undisclosed occasion in an interview to Reuters, where he said that he and his men would fight U.S. ground forces in North Waziristan. We hope it doesn't come to that. Mr. Sehgal, Brigadier Mohmand painted a terrifying picture as far as I'm concerned. What's your reaction to that? And do you think at this point we need Sirajuddin Haqqani to be making these kind of inflammatory statements?
First of all, I think that Brigadier Mohmand is resorting to the jingoism that he called for the Americans, and there's no need to do that. Time and space is on our side. Number two, around Sirajuddin Haqqani, when he says going to, people forget that North Waziristan is mainly occupied by the Waziris, and the Waziris mostly have not taken part in war in Afghanistan or in Pakistan, right? So why are we going to go and get the Waziris involved? Because the Waziris will get involved. When you go into that area, they'll get hurt and they'll get involved, and they're going to react also, and they'll also react. Number one. Number two, I must ask you this question, which I have never been able to understand. Mike Mullen meets General Kiani in Seville,
in
Spain, and 3 hours he spent with him. There's no talk about this ISI involvement in the Kabul attack.
The Haqqani network being a veritable arm of the ISI. dangerous.
Hina Rabbani Khar meets Hillary Clinton for what is supposed to be a very amicable meeting. There's nothing to suggest that this thing has come out. Suddenly this comes about. Why this? Why now? I have a different take on this, and I must be said this is my own conjecture.
Sure.
And that is that, you know, every time that the government in Pakistan,
the political government in
Pakistan is in trouble, and there's no doubt it's in trouble because the Supreme Court, you know, is certainly going to do something about the militants of the three political parties in Karachi. And obviously, it's not going to be confined to one party, right? I'm one of those who say do not ban any of the parties because they will create a vacuum and stakeholder, but some sort of action has to be taken. Suddenly you find the army, which by proxies through the Rangers doing a good job, right, going after all these militants and doing a reasonable job, with the cover of the Supreme Court behind them, suddenly find the army on the back foot, worried about something else on the backyard, right? And you find that's out of the way, you find ISI being dragged out and held for everybody to see. Now, this is a little, mysterious to me. And this has happened in the past also. Every time that the government here has been in political trouble, that something has come to ensure that the army does not intervene in any manner whatsoever. Having said that, let us put it like this, that nobody wants a confrontation with the United States. They have a point of view, and their point of view is genuine, that they are being affected by the Haqqanis in Afghanistan.
To what level, sir? I mean, at this point, what the Americans, the way they're talking, it looks like Al-Qaeda has been replaced as bogeyman number one by the Haqqani network. I mean, Siraj Haqqani, is he supposed to be the new person they want to attack after Osama bin Laden has been killed?
Yes, you know, actually, unfortunately, you know, there are some nations which keep on having one enemy after another, and if they don't have an enemy, they tend to invent one, right? And unfortunately, I think since Osama bin Laden is gone, there's no real enemy except as for the things that are, let's say tomorrow Haqqanis are gone, then somebody else will come up, right? So let us put it to you like this, that, you know, the United States needs us, and we need the United States, right? And we need them for two reasons. We need them because we've got a war within the Pakistani heartland of terrorism, which we must fight, and which is against Al-Qaeda and its affiliates. And the United States needs us because they're not going to go anywhere with the war in Afghanistan and the insurgency against Pakistan, because they've gone nowhere and they've got an exit line which is going to be drawing down their troops faster, and they do not want to leave Afghanistan in virtual turmoil because, as everybody, his uncle knows, the Afghan National Army is...
So you buy Hina Rabbani Khar's statement that Pakistan is being made a scapegoat?
Absolutely. I think Pakistan, and I put it to you, that it does not behoove a superpower like the United States, which has a lot of, I would say, concerns in this area and strategic concerns in this area, to destabilize the one factor which is holding this whole region together.
Absolutely. Pakistan is the linchpin right now.
It's the linchpin right now. And can you imagine what would happen if, let us say, if the structure started dismantling, and if you had this thing, there would be a complete chaos in this area.
Absolutely.
And then we are a nuclear weapon state. We have the nuclear missiles. We have the missiles to deliver them. It is.
That's unlikely to come into play.
No, my point is that it's a doomsday scenario which we may not. We don't even want.
We don't even want to go there.
Go that.
We don't even want to go there. But the Americans have to give Pakistan wiggle room, and that's what they're not doing.
And I think let us be fair about it. I think after Mike Mullen's statement and, you know, Senator Graham's statement and whatever.
Yeah, and Carl Levin and everybody.
But have you noticed? And I put to you across that the foreign policy statements have been made by Hillary Clinton, and she hasn't opened her.
She hasn't said anything, and General James Mattis actually was conciliatory.
Conciliatory, and he said some things which were really, really, I would say, mollifying Pakistan's, situation at the moment. I think what has to be done is we have to sit down and work out a terms of engagement. We have never really worked to engage.
Terms of engagement with whom?
With each other.
with each other, with America.
But the point is, I want to go back to what Mr. Zafar Iqbal Jhagra said.
Yeah.
And it's all very nice to talk about resolutions and national security strategy. Does the PML-N have a national security strategy enunciated? I have not seen a copy of it. I have not seen a copy of it, because, listen, every political party whatever this thing is, they should have a national security strategy. And the government, it is incumbent upon the government to ensure that every 2 years they have a national security strategy and
review it.
You
see, this came out in 2008 and this was endorsed by every political party, but was never acted upon.
But never acted upon. Nobody even wants to go down the way.
Right.
And last, I want to make this point. You can go and talk about terrorism till kingdom come. There's a difference between counterinsurgency, with the Pakistan army is fighting very well and has fought very well, and I would say in a way, in a manner that is sort of a example to other countries. But I'm sorry to say, as far as countering terrorism is concerned in the Pakistani heartland, we are at zero, because we've got no dedicated force meant to do that, and that is because our political government does not want to move against organized crime which feeds terrorism, and because most political parties, other than the militancy, have some links to organized crime.
They do, absolutely. I can't agree with you more. Mr. Iqbal Zafar Jhagra, you heard what Mr. Ikram Sehgal had to say here in Karachi. My question to you, of course, beyond what is the PML-N stated position on foreign policy and national security, but beyond that, sir, do you think at this point that Pakistan can fend off America's diatribes with another resolution?
Well, Quatrina, with all due respect to Mr. Sehgal, I agree with almost all that he has said. He had some very good suggestions, and he analyzes the situation in an excellent manner. All tributes to him. But at the same time, he said that PML-N does not have any national security policy. Well, at the moment, I think, at the moment, Quatrina, it is actually the government and the ruling party who is responsible to face the situation or whatever is being stated by the United States of America, and we have to, of course, come up with our own strategy and whatever is our view on the present situation, for which I said that we'll be meeting tomorrow. Saying that we have nothing for the national security, I would not agree to that as well. We have done a lot of homework on that, but when the time comes, hopefully you will see that PML-N was not sitting idle. They've been doing their job. We have a think tank of our party which has been working in the past and is still working very actively. So naturally we are from time to time analyzing all the important issues, and then as I told you, we are meeting tomorrow exactly on this tense situation and the security policy, of course, which will be discussed, and the party policy will be, yes.
Yeah, Mr. Jhagra, the important question, of course, the tricky part now is that America has painted the Pakistan government and the Pakistan army into a corner. Do you think at this point that taking any kind of military action against Haqqani network is still an option now for Pakistan after what America has done?
Well, you know, Quatrina, at the moment, we have rejected the statement that the Haqqani network exists in Pakistan in any manner or any way. Let that be settled first. We don't agree to that. We say Haqqani network doesn't exist here. And we have always said, in the past, as I stated, Quatrina, if you remember, I referred to this resolution again, and I have been referring over and again in your program. And if you remember, I had said that, well, when the first point says that we must have an independent foreign policy, I always said now the time is that by independent foreign policy, we should engage the genuine stakeholders. And the genuine stakeholders, when you say the genuine stakeholder, all the forces come in, including the United States of America, to sit down on a dialogue table and discuss the situation as to what is the best strategy. I feel use of force is not the answer. And I have said that the time has come that the ruling party has to say enough is enough. Let us sit down and tell you how to come out of this war on terror, how to get to the root causes. You know, unless you get to the root causes, Quatrina, use of force is always a temporary way of suppressing the situation or the movement. But to